I love to wrestle, especially when it comes to politics. For the best in political, professional wrestling, I listen to the American Adversaries on AM 660 The Answer. WORL. I'd go to the mat with you guys any day.
All right, welcome back to the show. Promises, promises. All right, that's right, folks. You got the American Adversaries Drive Time Primetime Show coming to you live on FM 105.5 and AM 660 The Answer. I am Christopher Hart. I just want to remind you, coming up at 6:30 tonight, we have episode 2 of our series, The Dumb and the Feckless.
Highly anticipated.
Highly anticipated. Of course, the script this year is coming from the great new book by Ed Klein, Unlikable, The Problem with Hillary. Tonight we'll go over Chapter 1, More Golda Than Maggie. All right, so tune in at 6:30 to find out about that. In the meantime, we have our man Abe Katsman coming to us live from Jerusalem right now. 407-774-8255 is the number if you have a question or comment for him. Abe, real quick before we get back to the conversation, have you read the book Unlikable by Ed Klein? It's an enjoyable read. I mean, you'll be smiling most of the way through it, probably laughing out loud in several parts of it as well. But I don't think you'll be a bit surprised with any of it. Well, she took lessons though. Now she's trying to turn it around. All right, but the violence over there, has it begun to subside? We haven't been getting as many media reports over here about it. Oh. Well, where are they coming from? Are they residents, for instance, of East Jerusalem, or are they coming from the Palestinian territories into Israel proper to do these acts of violence, terrorism? Right. Is there rising domestic pressure on the Prime Minister to try to do something about this? I mean, obviously they want results, but I mean, take drastic action, let's say. Okay, well, obviously we'll keep you and Israel in our prayers that this violence will subside and cooler heads, if there is such a thing over there amongst the Palestinian leadership, will prevail. President Bill Clinton was over there, I believe, last week at a memorial service. Has it been 20 years since ex-Prime Minister Perez was assassinated? Rabin, I'm sorry. Did I say Perez? Yeah, I'm sorry. And this was in Tel Aviv. He's still, as you said on the show before, held in pretty high regard over there, is he not?
Name him. Ultimately led to a string of suicide bombings and stabbings and all kinds of things that cost the lives of over 1,000 Israelis. But he is, especially on the left,
That, of course, they're in that, or at least the fringes of it most of the time anyway, so that's sort of par for the course. Let me change the subject a little bit. Of course, you know that President Obama just the end of last week announced that there now will be actually boots on the ground in Syria. Of course, our own Colonel Danny McKnight has told us there's been special ops in and out of there for quite some time now, but now that it's been made formal, is there any concern or is there relief at the escalation of the United States, especially where there's Russia, and now Russia is protecting Assad against all comers, and we're going to be protecting some of those comers? So that kind of sets up the stage for a bigger conflict, does it not? Yeah, yeah. Right. 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 And
with the forces. So regard it as a small step in the right direction.
Abe, real quick, I don't want to get too much into it, but I was able to get my hands today on a good part of the Iranian deal. Have you seen any of it yet?
No, I haven't seen the actual deal. I remember there was something from I guess what was out a couple of months ago, but I haven't seen anything new.
Yeah, I got about 100 pages of it. I'll forward it to you if you don't mind later on after the show.
Okay.
The GOP debate last week. Any reaction?
It was not easy to find on television here. So people are very interested in it though, and we're watching it on YouTube. We're seeing highlights, and there's a certain buzz about this. There were a lot of good sound bites. I wouldn't be the first to say that Cruz and Christie and Rubio the people that are attracting attention among at least the people who I talk to here in Israel.
I was going to ask you about Ted Cruz, how he's going over there in particular.
Yeah, he's, I don't know if people know much about him yet. But when they do, I mean, they see a very, very strong record when it comes to Israel. One thing he did that Israel has a lot of appreciation for is that last year during the Gaza war, if you remember, there was a rocket that landed from Gaza that landed about a mile from Israel's main airport, from Ben Gurion Airport.
Right, and
the Obama administration shut down air travel in Israel based on that.
I remember.
And Cruz right away jumped on that and said, what kind of business is this? This is this is political punishment. This has nothing to do with actual security, and they lifted it. I don't know if he was entirely responsible, but he was at the forefront of the battle to restore air traffic to Israel.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. Last night on the show, I asked a question. I said, there's several sort of litmus tests we can apply to the candidates as they're trying to be president of the United States. And one would be, if you were going to buy a house or a car and you were up against somebody that, was a tough negotiator, who would you want to have negotiate for you? And which of the candidates would you want to have negotiate for you? And we concluded that there's 3 or 4 of the Republicans that we would definitely want to negotiate a deal for us. Trump would be one. Cruz would definitely be one because he strikes a hard bargain and he doesn't back down.
Yep.